Hi, I'm Rob. Let's jump right into it tonight. I wanted to talk about two things real quick. First is New York banning all diesel trucks. Um, this is just the dumbest thing in the world. I don't know why we got to keep talking about the government forcing a position on you, but we've got bus companies here, the regional transportation companies that deal with all the buses for the local towns, communities, and cities. For many years they've been using diesel, and now our governor has decreed that diesel is no more. It has to be electric. But the problem is the electric buses, they're just astronomical in price. The chargers are at least 100 grand plus, and then the mileage you get out of these things is maybe 100 miles per charge. And the reality is if you're a Class 8 operator of diesel truck, or you're operating a bus, a school bus, or you're operating an RTS bus, or a bus that's public transportation, those buses are going 300 or 400 miles a day. So New York has joined California, the nutty states, and said that you can't choose your vehicle anymore. And the reality is that this is just going to cost you more money and me more money, because now you're going to wait for people to charge their bus, to deliver the eggs, to deliver the food, to deliver the dog food, right? And then you got to have the people who are driving these buses. That's going to take longer, right? So they're going to have shifts that are broken up, segmented. So that's going to have a higher labor cost on this. And what it just continues to show is that we need to stop having the politicians act like they know what they're doing when they're running a business. Lots of people know how to run businesses, okay? A lot of businesses by people who know how to run businesses fail for a host of reasons. Some good, some bad, who knows? In the same manner, a lot of businesses succeed in the same manner of their owners. So what we've got really a government here in New York that wants to tell people what to do, what to buy, but they don't understand the consequences, which leads me to point number two. When do we stop with this minimum wage bullshit? Like, really, when do we stop with the minimum wage bullshit? In New York, it's going up to $17 at the end of this year. And they're already clamoring that they want it to go higher. Yet they don't realize that a burger at most restaurants in New York is 14, 15 bucks. And if the minimum wage keeps going up, then everybody who's higher than that has to keep going up, right? So where does this stop? Does this stop at a $35 minimum wage, $40 minimum wage, $50 minimum wage? And if it never stops, how do we just not have eggs that are like $100 for a dozen? So, as we look at people from Harvard, Obama, DeSantis, all these smart people come from these smart schools. But everything they do is destroying the economic and the finances of America. Minimum wage is supposed to be a job for teenagers who are in high school, who can learn some minimum set of job skills to go to the next step of progression. It is not meant for you to sit there and for the sub shop owner to pay for your family, for you to have two kids, for those two kids to go to college. It's just not sustainable. You can't sell that many subs. Maybe Jersey Mike's kind of as a franchise, for all their locations, they can sell a ton of subs. And it might work out great for the guy at the top. But for the guy at the franchise level, he doesn't have enough money to go around to pay 15 people, 17, 18 bucks an hour, and then still give you a sub for $8 or $9 and still make money. This is just ludicrous. So I just want to know, when do the American people say enough is enough? Because I thought when we hit $10, that was going to be it. We're at $10. That it's better than 5. It's in the middle of 5 and 10. So you had 7, and then it got to 8. But I thought it was going to stop at 10. And just every time we got these politicians that just keep moving forward with, let's raise the minimum wage. We need a national minimum wage. No, we don't. Minimum wages. Yeah, so I need to get a new tripod for my cameras, but I haven't done it yet. But anyways, we need to just stop with the minimum wage. People work for what they want. And it's kind of funny because on the minimum wage subject, Americans are very entitled to declare a minimum wage for themselves, right? But one of the reasons we have a problem at our border is because Americans don't want to go and work in the farms, right? Because there's no minimum wage for farm workers, right? So there's piecemeal, what do you got to pick? Something like 500 strawberries a day for $5 or something? I don't know. I'm being, over exaggerating there, but I'm just trying to say it's very interesting that, when it's migrants building homes in Florida, or migrants farming, or migrants taking care of your children, or migrants working for rich, famous superstars and actors, cough, cough, Schwarzenegger, and then you have babies and hide them in closets. There's never the minimum wage argument. It's just the minimum wage argument when it's time for the American people to go vote. And I want to just know, when does it stop? Because it's just not sustainable. People need to be able to work. Businesses need to be able to hire Americans for an affordable cost of labor that's not based on how good we feel. And, there was a time in this country that if you needed more money, you worked a second job or you worked overtime. But now it's like everybody's making $20 an hour, but nobody feels better. Nobody actually has more money in their pocket. And everything's super expensive. So maybe the next time you go vote, here on this platform, you know what I said? I said, I'm going to run on the let's take minimum wage back to $10 an hour. I probably won't get one vote for anywhere in the country for that. But that's really what needs to happen, and on that, how many times are we going to bail out GM? How many times do we got to keep bailing out our auto companies? And, so they can have a guy sit on the line and make $40 an hour so that, a car is $50,000. These are questions that we need to ask. And it's just fun to say, hey, let's raise minimum wage and you deserve more money and everyone deserves this and deserves that. But if nobody's producing anything and nobody's making anything and nobody's selling anything, then sooner or later, everybody in the United States is going to be doing one of two things: serving coffee or driving for an app. That's just going to be where it's at. Serving coffee or driving for an app or in the medical community. That's what you're going to have, because it's just getting too costly for businesses to hire Americans to do anything. Maybe this is something we should talk about, because if we can talk about that, solve that problem, then I think maybe we can solve some of the problems at the border and our migrant problem. But until we solve why an iPhone can't be made affordably in America, because Americans are just too damn pretentious and want too damn much money to do anything, that you got to go all the way over to China and all the way over to India, take advantage of a whole bunch of people to bring that product all the way back over here to sell it to Americans for an overprice. It just doesn't make sense. So this is what I'd like to see the discussion be, is what do we really do to tailor the work environment so that businesses can hire more people? And folks, you know what I'm talking about, because there's a million jobs out there all over the place, but nobody's hiring anybody. and nobody's hiring anybody because it's just too expensive to do anything. And you've got all these mandates, and then you got to give health insurance, and you got to do this, and you got to have HR this, and HR that, and HR this, and HR that, and it's just too much. The American idea of capitalism wasn't formulated on all these rules. We needed some of these rules back in 1940 when the average American didn't walk around with a phone with a camera, didn't have the ability to advocate for themselves, didn't have the ability to speak up. But we're way past that now. Everybody can speak up and scream all day long, and just everybody's screaming. So that's what I want to know is, where does the minimum wage stop? And why is New York telling small business owners, truck drivers, bus companies, school bus operators, school districts, that they got to go out and waste your money to buy shit that doesn't work? I'm Rob. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you guys go out and enjoy the season. Halloween's coming up. Thanks for allowing me to ramble a little bit more. Rambling with Rob. That's my new thing, right? I don't know. Who knows what it is? But and I'm going to work on the tripod thing because my phone's flipped over just a couple too many times, and it's still here though without a case. So I'm pretty amazed on that. So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks again for listening to me, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.